Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm coming to you guys with a top 5 things I hate about my 2021 Ford F-150 Power Boost. Now, this truck has been the best truck by far that I've ever owned. Also, the most expensive truck by far that I have ever owned. And I wanted to wait until I had enough miles on this truck to actually be able to make a video like this. So as of yesterday, we just tripped over like 3,600 miles, and it's been a few months. So I do feel like I'm in a position to kind of go over some of the things that I think can be improved. And I like making these videos because there happens to be an awful lot of videos out there where people talk about all of the great features and all of the low-hanging fruit marketing stuff that these manufacturers want you to talk about.
So what you have here is measuring points, centimeters, and standard.
This is great for if you're out at a campsite or if you're at a job site.
The shifter folds down.
I can drill a 2x4. Always got to do that when you're on the job here. Yeah. All right.
And I don't know if there's a whole lot of people that come back and kind of talk about some of the things that help you kind of manage your expectations if you're going to make a purchase such as this Power Boost. So what I'm going to do is go over just kind of the top 5 things that drive me a little bit crazy with this truck, and do it in no particular order. But number 1 I want to talk about is the software. Now, these trucks do come with the Sync 4 system, which is the nice big screen. It's an awesome system, but with that comes the ability for Ford to push software updates. I kind of thought that there was going to be maybe more updates, especially being a newer platform, as they try to tune out some of the bugs, because there certainly are. You can find videos and commentary on message boards of people feeling like shift points are a little too harsh, or just some random bugs that kind of exist in this first-year platform truck. There's only been, I think, 2 updates since I've had this truck, and they've been pretty much behind-the-scenes things that really noticed no difference aside from activating Security Alert, a feature that when you walk up to the truck and pull on a handle, it will notify you on your phone that somebody has tried to enter the vehicle. A great feature, except for it's just on. If it's on all the time. So if you go to your vehicle 10 times a day, which I do, every time you open the door, you're getting an alert on your phone that somebody has opened the door, even though your key fob was on you at the time. They have a scheduling feature where you can turn it on to only work at certain times, which I thought, that's perfect. At least you can set it up so that it's only on during the time when you're sleeping. Unfortunately, the scheduling feature does not work. As you can see right now, I have 16 notifications and go to the scheduler, and all you get is, sorry, FordPass isn't responding, please try again later. That is incredibly annoying. It never has worked since they've activated that feature. And just some other things that I've noticed through this sync system that don't work the way that they should. You have the lane keep assist cruise control. When you turn it on, the vehicle will keep itself centered in the lanes. They also have lane keep assist so that when you're just driving down the highway, if you start to veer when you're not using cruise control, it will automatically kind of nudge you back into your lane. I have turned this feature on countless times, but every time I cycle the ignition on and off, it just resets back to not being on. That, again, is incredibly annoying, something that can be easily fixed through a software update, something they have not done yet. So number 2, the door handles. Now, the one thing this truck does have is that when you walk up to the vehicle, they have these door handles, and only the front door actually has a sensor on it. So if you have your key fob in your pocket, you walk up, you grab the door, you pop the door, and it opens up. The rear handles do not have that. It's a bit of an annoyance. You have to come over here, unlock the front door, and then grab the back door. It's a feature that is on a lot of other vehicles that have the proximity keys, and it just seems to me like maybe Ford did some cost cutting as far as door handles go, and it's something that when you buy the truck, you may not think it's a big deal, but after a couple weeks of owning it, there's enough times that you go to open that back door, throwing a bag or my kid hopping in the back. I go to the back door usually first before I go to the front door, because I'm either loading in a backpack, loading in my child, loading in whatever it is that I'm leaving with for the day. Goes to the back seat first before I go into the driver's seat. So it actually ends up being the door you go to more frequently if you're using that crew cab, which most people who buy it probably are. Now, number 3, the shifter. Now, when I ordered this truck and I had made some videos, I was really head over heels over the fact that the shifter folds down and you have the work surface. Probably the main reason why I even started looking at Ford was that one feature I thought was a brilliant use of space inside the cab for productivity. Now, there were a lot of people out there that said that shifter is going to break. The way that it goes up and down like that is unreliable, and I defended it. Now, I still defend the fact that it's fine going up and down, but the shifter itself is very vague. I'm not sure what's going on. As a matter of fact, I went in for warranty work and they replaced the shifter, and it's just as bad as it was the day that I bought the truck. When you're shifting through the gears, again, it has nothing to do with the fact that it goes up and down for use of the work surface. That works fine. But shifting between gears, there is a very mushy feel between every one of the gears to the point where you can actually end up in between gears. And what happened to me was I was backing into my driveway and somehow ended up in this no man's land between reverse and park. And as I hit the concrete coming up into my driveway, that little drainage there, it was enough just to jolt the shifter into park, and it jammed the parking pawl into the transmission. Not good, obviously, for a transmission. And since then, I've just noticed there's times when I'm going between the gears where you just end up in this really undetermined area of the shifter. Now, I don't know if this can be addressed in software because all of this stuff is now electronic, and it's, again, I'm not sure if that can be addressed through software to make those more firm, or if it's just a complete design flaw in that shifter itself. But I lack a lot of confidence going between gears and really having a firm feel in where you're at with that shifter. Now, I love console shifters. I love the ergonomics of having somewhere to rest your right hand. But yeah, there is certainly some engineering issues, in my opinion, with this shifter that should be addressed hopefully through some software updates or maybe a recall completely of these shifter assemblies, because it's not very good. Now, number 4, this is related to the F-150, but this is maybe just an automotive design thing in general. Chrome on interior pieces. I don't know if they don't test these vehicles in areas that get an awful lot of sun, but I tell you what, here in Arizona, it's sunny pretty much every day of the year. You get a couple days that you get a break with the clouds, and having chrome interior pieces that have curvature in them, where they just grab the sun and then throw it straight directly into your eye, seems to me to be a very dangerous design feature. I went as far as actually wrapping some interior pieces with some brushed aluminum wrap material because it was just too much. And I'm going to have to do a little bit more because there's still a couple things that when you're out on the highway, you get these stretches of road where the sun is hitting that chrome piece just right and throwing it straight into your eyeball. And it's just incredibly distracting and annoying. Number 5. This is, again, one that can probably be addressed in a software update, but a lot of these newer trucks and newer vehicles have a digital rear view mirror. It takes the backup camera, throws a digital display on the mirror. I wasn't really worried about this truck not having that because this truck does have a bed camera. I am fine not having the digital rear view mirror, but I am not fine having the camera set up where you can view what's in the bed, but as soon as you start rolling more than a couple miles an hour, it turns the camera off for safety, which then eliminates the whole benefit of having a camera that you can check what's in the bed. There's been plenty of times that I've been rolling down the road with a huge cargo net on the back of the truck, and you're just constantly kind of looking back to make sure it's not back there flapping in the wind. So when you buy a vehicle that has a camera capable of checking what's in the bed of the truck, but then doesn't work when you're moving, it doesn't really serve a whole lot of purpose. Just to me, seems like until a future software update comes out, that it's kind of a useless feature, which is kind of a bummer. It would be nice also to be able to see your hitch camera while rolling down the road. Maybe let you check in on some of those cameras and then time them out after a determined amount of time, but not letting you look at them at all, to me, just seems like you put all of the tech there, but then you pretty much eliminated the ability to be able to use any of it, so why have it at all? That's kind of my opinion on some of that stuff. So that is my top 5 things that it drives me nuts on a daily basis with this truck. Sure, there's some other things we could talk about. I have seen people complain about mushy brake feel with these power boosts. I don't really experience that all that much. I think the brakes are fine. And I have seen a lot of people complain about transmission shifting, feeling like it's a little bit lurchy at times. And I'm not going to discount that because I do feel it. I did notice that if you switch over to eco mode, that a lot of that kind of goes away. So I have sort of chalked that up to just the way that they have this truck tuned from the standard mode. And I think they could maybe tune that down a little bit. Doesn't bother me too much. There's been a couple of times where I maybe have noticed that it was a little more abrupt than I would have liked. But again, for the most part, doesn't really bother me all that much. Now, another thing that I have heard is people say that they think that Ford has maybe half-assed the hybrid. And I disagree with that. I would argue that the Tundra now just half-assed the hybrid more so than what Ford did. I think that Ford did a very good job of making this internal combustion biased with also having an EV. And I think some of the people that complain that it was maybe a half-assed EV attempt are people that would have liked to have seen more of an electric bias with the internal combustion engine there. I just think that Ford did it the other way around, and that some of your EV fans maybe are disappointed by that. But for me, I actually love the implementation of the hybrid because I'm utilizing the battery power when stationary, parked on job sites, letting the truck just run on electric. When I don't need to be idling an internal combustion engine, also using the power boost, which I haven't done a whole lot yet, but being able to utilize the 7.2 kilowatt hour battery in the back of the truck as a generator. That's all of the stuff that I think Ford focused on is more of the functionality while stationary, more so than the functionality while under motion. Guys, with that being said, that is my top 5 things that I hate about this F-150. I hope that a lot of this gets addressed through software updates. A lot of it certainly can. It's just a matter of how much Ford is willing to put into their ability to be able to update these trucks. And I'm hoping that there is certainly a lot of development happening and that it's not just a selling point that we can update this and then just never do. Hopefully that's kind of something that's coming in the future. Time will tell. I'll certainly make some more videos if things get addressed through software updates. And I am very much looking forward to the self-driving rollout coming up in the near future. I can assure you that I will be purchasing that. So, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Again, if this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. I'll see you guys next time.